This week on Angelo's Motorcycle, I've got the CFMOTO 450 SS here with its stock rear seat, which we are going to change to this. Coming up right now.
And this is Angelo's backpack, and this is Angelo, who you know. And what's that?
Can't believe it fit in the backpack. CFMOTO genuine accessory. Solo tail for the 450 SS. So looking at the instructions, these are the CFMOTO accessory setup instructions for the rear seat race look, which we have Nebula White, Nebula Black, Zircon Black, Velocity Gray. So they have two different ones. This is the Nebula White, Nebula Black version, because obviously this is the Nebula White, Nebula Black version of the bike. And then this is what it comes with. It comes with the part itself, the cowl itself. And then it comes with a little tiny metal plate that serves some type of function. We'll find out as we go through the instructions. There's the little metal plate that it comes with. And then it says that we need just a couple of things. We need a Phillips screwdriver, which is easy enough, an M5 inner hex wrench, and protective gloves, which I obviously have. So we start by removing the seat, the front seat, and then we insert the key and remove the rear seat. And then there are a bunch of screws. It shows you where they all are to remove that rear cowl. And same thing here. I think there might be a part that has to transfer over. We'll find out as we go through. And then we just put it on and then reinstall the front seat. And this should be relatively straightforward. If you prefer to read the instructions in Chinese, here they all are. But I think we'll stick with English because I don't read Chinese. So there we go. And time to get going. So first thing they say is an M5 inner hex wrench. I have a couple different varieties of M5. I'm going to use this nice T-handle one here, hopefully. There we go. And there is a washer on this, which we don't want to lose. Like one of those washers that like seats it in there. Nice. A retainer. So just so we don't lose anything, I'll get the good old magnetic parts holder and put that in there. And now we got one more. This is the first time I have removed the seat, or had to remove the seat, since this machine was built. I do remember that when they were putting it together, they were exceptionally cautious to not cross-thread these. That's probably very easy to do. Go in very gently and thread them very gently. And that takes the seat off very easily. And then we see here the battery, the OBD2 connector, I believe, is under here, as well as some fuses, the Bosch fuel injection. So that is done. So now the next step that it says is to get the key, which I have right here, and remove the rear seat. So the keyhole for the rear seat removal is right here. Let's give that a twist, and then this should pop right up and the seat comes off. And then you'll see here there's the little handle for the passenger, which I think is super cool. You can flip that out and then put the seat back on, and the passenger has a handle to hold on to. But as I don't ride passengers on this machine, I don't mind changing it over to a solo cowl. And this is where the OBD2 port is for the diagnostics, underneath this seat, not this seat. So I stand corrected. So now, looking at the instructions, and getting my Phillips head screwdriver handy. It appears that there are, it says remove the self-tapping screws B and fixing screw C, D, and take off the race rear seat. Okay, so B appears to be these four right here. C is the fixing screw. That one is right there. And D are more of these screws. There's two here. And according to this diagram, there's a couple hiding somewhere under... Oh, there they are, hiding right under here. This diagram is very accurate as to their location and where they are. So that's good. Let's get those out. It'll be interesting to see if any of them are different sizes. And if they are in fact self-tapping, or if they go in... These are self-tappers, yeah. I'm going to pull all the Phillips head ones first. And then I'll go back in for the Allen headed ones. And so far, these are all identical and the same size. So that makes it easier. You don't have to remember, oh boy, there's one that's a different size. Well, let's see, are these the same size as well? And they are. Nice. And there goes the train. Where I live, there is a big rail yard nearby. And they come through all times. And they do not care that I am recording a video. Alright, so these two here are Allens, and this one is an Allen. So let's go ahead and let's get those going. Oh, that one was pretty tight. And this one is the only one of these. So that will be very easy to remember where that one goes. And these two that are hiding under here are the only ones of these. So this will be very easy to remember where they go. And these are not self-tappers. These are threaded into metal. So now I am going to remove this one as well. And sooner or later, this thing is going to come off this bike. So I got to be careful that I don't drop it. I'll just put these two screws down here in the screw hole. So far I have removed 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 screws in addition to the 2 that are holding the seat. And if I look at this diagram, there are in fact 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 10 screws on here on this picture. So there's those two, there's those two, there's those two. I don't believe I have found these yet, but I do not see them. Oh, here they are. There are also 2 right here. Again, their instructions are very good. They have represented in that drawing every single spot, those screws, where they are, how many should come out. And now I bet this tail section will come off the bike very easily. And I will note that these 4, the metal ones that were not self-tappers, they were all identical. So that's good. You don't have to worry about... Okay. And this does not want to come off yet. And is still being held on by something. I do not know what. There are some screws under here that hold this on, but it doesn't say anything about removing those. Remove the self-tapping screws and these screws, and according to that, this should come off. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 11 screws. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 screws. So I have removed all of the screws that they say to remove. So it is possible that you just need to lift it a certain way. Oh wait, I think I'm making progress here. It appears to be locked in somehow. I'm looking for like maybe a snap release. Oh, like that. That's it. Aha! And that's exactly what there was. There is 2 little tiny plastic tabs on each side that kind of lock in. And there you have the stock rear sail section, which came off very easily. This machine, I am impressed with how well this machine is built. So now we will compare it to the new one and see if there are in fact any pieces that have to be transferred. This does look different, and what needs to be transferred, I believe, is this black plastic part that is on the inside here. I believe this needs to be transferred to this. And to show the quality of the parts of what CFMOTO is sending out, I mean, this looks outstanding. But look at these little protectors that they ship on the tips, just to protect the tips. And I will transfer these to the stock one to protect the stock one while I store it. But little things like this is CFMOTO giving customers what they want. Good customer service, good quality parts. Look at this. This is good stuff. And even though you saw me pull this out of a backpack, it was in a very nice box, was packaged very nicely. Just there was no way I was going to get that home with the motorcycle. I was actually riding the 450 SS, and I didn't have my Adventura. I didn't have my bags or my trunk or anything. I needed to carry it inside the backpack. So I took it out of the box and got it home safely, just like that. And this is going to look outstanding. So let us continue by reading the instructions and following the instructions step by step, because they are very good instructions. And it says, remove the self-tapping screws of the connecting plate of the rear race seat and remove the 2 handholds. So that, I believe they are referring to this. These are handholds. I believe they are referring to that. And so they are talking about the self-tapper screws. And in the picture, there are 6 screws. And in fact, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws. So let's get the Phillips head screwdriver going. And let's get these off. And these also appear to all be identical, just as those other ones were. But just to be safe, I'm going to keep these separately in a little tiny, it is magnetic. Oh, there we go. Find something magnetic to attach it to. I like those little screw holders. I have a million of them. And they come in very handy when you're doing a job. You can put the screws from one part of the job in one bin and the screws from another part of the job in another bin. They're magnetic, so they'll hold the screws so they don't go out. They also hold small tools. But then because the bottom is magnetic, you can also stick it to metal and it will stay, just like I have just done. So you can have a little tiny part holder just about anywhere that you can stick something magnetic to. And so now I see what's going on. These have a release. There's a round pin there, and then this slides out like this to come off of the black plastic part there, and then you have the rear part that you're going to need to store and put aside. That isn't going to be transferred. And then, let's see here, we'll get this going. Oh, yeah. For a self-tapper, that made a lot of noise. Okay. And all 6 of these are also identical. And they happen to be identical to the self-tappers that we used in the first part. So, you don't have to worry if you do mix them up. They do appear to be identical. And this will complete step 4. And now we'll put that there. There's all 6 of our screws. And now this comes off like that. And then this part then simply just slides right off. And then there's that. And then we have this ready to go onto the new tail section, which goes just like this. And these should line right up, which they do very easily. And this will I'm gonna kind of slide it in like that. And I can see right where the tabs were on the old one is right where the tabs go on the new one. There is just, I'm gonna put the screwdriver down. And there is just a little bit of a challenge in getting this, so this back section goes from the bottom, while the back section goes from the top. So this section goes from the bottom, just like so, and this one goes from the top and mounts onto, or perhaps I should do this part first. There we go. And then I will do this part second. There we go. So those have all connected. And this just kind of, okay, so definitely do the back portion, the rear portion first, because once you do the rear portion, the rest of this just clicks right in. And that's it. Now you're good to go. And everything lines up exactly as it was. And we can put our self-tappers back in. So I'll go ahead with this one first. Hope you're getting all of this. Yes, it appears that you are. It would not be good if I did this whole thing off of frame. And then I go to watch it after and like, oh boy, we're gonna have to do the job again so everybody can watch. On my other YouTube channel, which focuses on model building, it's called Angelo's Workbench. I sometimes wear a GoPro that attaches to my head. And for model building on a bench, it's pretty good. I also have a camera mount over my head, which for model building, again, works very well. For this, it's a little bit of a challenge. Because the camera is on a tripod next to me. And it seems to be working. You are getting everything here. Okay, that side's done. Now let's do this side. Okay, so now I'm going to get these final 3 in. And then this will be ready to be attached to the motorcycle. I'm not quite sure how that happens yet, but something to do with the key lock mechanism, I would assume. Transfers over to this. I'm sure that the instructions will make it very clear. Some very good instructions with this, I have to say. I am thoroughly impressed. The CFMOTO motorcycles are impressive. But then also the CFMOTO genuine accessories I am finding are equally impressive. These parts are of excellent quality. And as I said, they shipped to me very safely. They had those extra little things that covered the tips. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with this company as a whole. CFMOTO is a company that takes its customer service very seriously. Puts out a tremendously good product, and yeah, there's nothing really bad you can say about CFMOTO. Good friend of mine just bought a 300 NK, which you're going to see in a later video, because we did demo rides, and the dealership let us have access to several of their CFMOTO motorcycles, so he could make up his mind which CFMOTO he wanted, and I think he picked a winner. he chose the 300 NK because he was looking for something small, run around town kind of thing. Maybe just a little bit of highway, but not much, mostly just back roads. And you know, that machine is absolutely outstanding. And the fit and finish on that bike for the price point, again, you know, CFMOTO is a company that takes their customer service very seriously, and they put out a tremendous product. So I'm a fan. So assemble the connecting plate and tighten the self-tapping screws. That's those 6 screws. We just put those in. Now it says to remove the fixing screw E, which was that screw right there, and tighten with the install the fixing plate and tighten fixing screw E. So basically what I think they're saying to me is there is a screw back there, right here. They want me to remove that, attach the plate, and then tighten it up. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, I have that. So now there is a fixing plate, which is right here. So that happens to be the exact location where the rear seat would go into under this metal tab. So now instead of having that, there's going to be this fixing plate. But now the fixing plate appears to be, it appears to have a raised up part and then a part that is not. So which way does it go? They do not say. But if I take a little look at the underside of this, that might reveal to me the answer to that question. And no, I don't think so. So I'm going to take a guess. I got a 50-50 shot of getting it right. I'm going to install it the way I think it makes sense to me. Well, it really rather does fit nicely that way. Let me flip it over and see how it fits. And if I flip it over, it doesn't quite fit as nicely. Let me see if I can see in the picture. In the picture, it does appear to go like this. So I'm going to install it this way and see how I do. That way it does look the part. So we'll go with that for now. And then if I get it back on and, oops, you know, this is not the way it goes, then we'll know. But I installed it so that these tabs are flush with this metal part right here. And so that's what I did right here. Just want to see if that's in frame. Yes, it is. Okay, right there. So now it says, install the rear seat onto the vehicle and tighten with the self-tapping screws. So basically all the screws that we took out before. But not all of them, only 6 of them. So not all of the screws go back in, which makes sense. Because this entire section here doesn't have any screws that go in. So let's see how we do. So there's that, there's that, there's that, and that's it. The tail section is on. And it is held on with fewer screws. So now it says the self-tappers, the 2 sets of metal self-tappers from the side go in, and these self-tappers here go in. So let's do that. So the 4 fasteners that go in are the non-self-tappers that are, they go in from the sides here. There's 2 here in the back near the tail light. And these would be very easy to cross thread, so be careful. So you will have a couple of screws left over, simply because they do not install the same exact way. that the stock one, that the one that came with the bike, installed. They just don't install the same exact way. Okay, and then there is one right here. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's still plenty of fasteners on this. This one I am having a hard time getting. There we go. That looks fantastic. And that is secured very well. So the other one had fasteners along here. This one can't because obviously those are covered. And then we need the two self-tappers that go here in the front. My Phillips head screwdriver. And install these two self-tappers. This was a very easy process. Okay. And now it's install the front seat again. So the key basically becomes dysfunctional. The key no longer will do anything, I don't believe. Let's give it a try. Yeah, the key no longer doesn't do anything because this is screwed on. So that's what that metal plate is covering, is that lock mechanism. So that's a nice attention to detail. So you're going to have some accessory parts left over. And so we just put this seat into place and line up the, wow, that lined right up. Super easy, which is nice. So we'll put our seat fasteners back in. There we go. There we go. Very simple. Lined right up. There you go. So that is is done. The only thing left is to remove this protective film from the decal that's on the tail section. And now we have a solo seat on the 450 SS, which looks absolutely marvelous. Now, so the extra parts, what's left over? So we have left over that you'll want to store in case you ever want to restore this to a factory, or if you want to ever carry a passenger. Obviously, you know, you're not going to carry a passenger on this now. This has become a solo bike, which my usability is fine because I also have an Aventura 650 that I can ride a passenger on, or all of my other motorcycles can carry passengers except for my Harley Davidson. That's also a solo bike. But my wife is never going to want to ride on the back of the 450, so I don't have to worry about that with my usage. But if you ever wanted to put this back together, you can put it back together again in about 15-20 minutes. So you will have left over one rear seat. You will have left over the one main screw where the locking mechanism was. You will have left over 4 self-tappers. And then you will have left over the 2 side pieces that went here. Let's see here. Which way did they go? They went like this. Just like that. You have left over the 2 side pieces, left and right. So you will want to store these in a safe place. And I'm going to put the little booties that came with the other one over the tips to protect the tips. I'll put them in a small box and put them on a shelf in my garage in case I ever need them, and I will label them. And quite handily, it came with a little Ziploc bag that held the that metal plate And this Ziploc bag will do very nicely, holding the leftover screws, just like that. The 4 self-tappers and the one for the lock mechanism. So I'll box this stuff up, put it aside, and let's take a few pictures and have a look at how this looks with the new tail section. The CFMOTO 450 SS is such a beautiful machine. I can't find a bad angle. The motorcycle just looks absolutely fantastic. It looks like nothing else on the road. You wouldn't guess that it's a small CC entry-level bike. Well, sort of entry-level. They call it an entry-level machine, but, you know, I'm a 30-something year rider, and it doesn't feel entry-level to me. I think it could be your first bike, your second bike, and possibly your third bike, all rolled into one. I think that you can grow with the motorcycle. There's plenty of power. It's good on the highway, and it looks beautiful from any angle. And the tech that's in it, I have a hard time believing that they sell this motorcycle for what they sell it for. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Also, check me out on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, also as Angelo's Motorcycle. Help me get this channel off the ground. Send me questions and comments. I'd love to hear from you all. Thank you for watching Angelo's Motorcycle. I will see you all next week.